Welcome or welcome back. This is episode 6 of the book drop. My name is Tab and I love to talk about books. Welcome to another week, another episode of the book drop. In this week's episode, I have 22 new release books that are being published the week of June 17th. 22 books. Holy guacamole. I hope this goes by really quick. If you're new here, the book drop is a series that I do on my channel about all the new weekly releases that come out on Tuesday that I am specifically excited for. I'll also go over some book purchases that I made and any book news that I thought was interesting throughout the week. Sorry that there was no episode last week. I was in California. I brought all my filming equipment. I brought my laptop. I just literally had no time to film or edit a video when I was there, so I took a week off. I am just going to get right into this and try not to be super long-winded. The first category that I have is romance. The first book is Comin' in Hot by Josie Juniper. This is a spicy F1 romance. After a decade in journalism, Natalia Evans has reached the pinnacle of her career, lead reporter for Auto Racing Journal. Every season promises to be a thrilling adventure in the glamorous world of elite racing, surrounded by top-tier athletes and influential industry legends. The only complication in Natalia's plans, one of those legends happens to be the enigmatic Emerald team principal, Claus Frank. The handsome stranger with whom Natalia once shared an unforgettable night had to be forgotten. I have never read an F1 romance, but I know some people are diehards for F1, and I kind of can't wait to check it out to see what all the fuss is about. Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. A hit-making songwriter and a bitter musician share a startling and inexplicable connection that they'll do anything to shake. Gloves Off by Stephanie Archer. This is a sports romance. Georgia needs to get married for her inheritance, and Alexei, a grumpy NHL enforcer, needs Canadian citizenship. They enter into a fake marriage where they act as besotted newlyweds in public but are constantly at each other's throats in private. The story explores their dynamic as they get to know each other and their initial negative perceptions are challenged. The last one in romance is 7-Year Itch by Amy Dawes. Alone and looking to bone, loudmouth mountain man seeks fiery woman to grow old with. I might look like a tall, tattooed, bearded Neanderthal, but like an onion, I have layers. Swipe right if you like a proud cat daddy who catches feelings after direct eye contact. All I wanted was a casual +1 to my brother's destination wedding, but those idiots on my family tree hacked my dating profile and sabotaged my quest for the perfect weekend fling. Now I'm stuck on a tropical vacation with only my hand to keep me company. Until I'm forced to share a room with the bane of my existence, my sister-in-law's best friend. Dakota has hated me for the past 7 years. I wasn't losing much sleep over her screaming rants because she was some other guy's problem, or she was until she got divorced. This already sounds so funny, and you had me at cat daddy. I'm allergic to cats, but I love especially someone who seems like a big grumpy guy who is a marshmallow. The biggest category of books that I'm excited for this week is mysteries and thrillers. The first book, A Novel Murder by E.C. Nevin. Welcome to the Killer Lines Crime Fiction Festival, the place for star writers of the genre to meet their adoring fans. But be careful, this year the murders aren't just on page. Beach Reads and Deadly Deeds by Allison Brennan. A luxurious private resort, a steamy romance, and a captivating cast of sleuths and suspects. A risk-averse bibliophile gets in over her head when strange notes in a book draw her into a real-life investigation. I Did Warn Her by Cian Gilbert. A luxurious yacht, a gorgeous crew with secrets and rivalries, and murder. I Did Warn Her is a cunning locked room mystery set on a billionaire's yacht. Murder Takes a Vacation by Laura Lippman. An irresistible mystery featuring Muriel Blossom, a former private investigator and middle-aged widow whose vacation on a Parisian river cruise turns into a deadly international mystery that only she can solve. The Farmhouse by Chelsea Conrad. Every woman who has lived on this farm has died. Emily just moved in. When Emily Hawk's mother dies, it's time for her and her husband Josh to finally leave San Francisco. A farm in rural Nebraska is everything they want for a fresh start. Clear skies, low costs, and the distance from the grief back home. They should have asked why the farm was even for sale. The Tournament by Rebecca Barrow. This is a YA thriller. 3 girls with entangled pasts compete for glory in their private school's annual tournament, putting their survival skills and their relationship to the test. In this young adult thriller that's Shakespearean, stunning, and dark academia at its finest. Don't Open Your Eyes by Liv Constantine. This is a psychological thriller. Annabelle has a seemingly perfect life, a loving husband, 2 daughters, and a fulfilling career. However, her world is turned upside down when she starts having disturbing dreams about a future where she despises her husband and her daughters are in danger. The book explores themes of psychological suspense, fate versus free will, premonitions, and family dynamics. In the last one in this category, Someone Knows by V. Keeland. Elizabeth, a college English professor, is teaching a creative writing seminar when she receives a chapter from a student submission titled The Reckoning. The chapter describes a high school senior having an affair with her teacher. To anyone else, it would be the start of a thrilling story, but for Elizabeth, it's the beginning of a nightmare. She immediately recognizes the story as her own past, specifically the account of her best friend Jocelyn and their high school teacher. Now in fantasy, I have The Mercy Makers by Tessa Gratton. A talented heretic must decide between the pursuit of forbidden magic or the ecstasy of forbidden love in the start of a sweeping romantic epic fantasy trilogy. Can an empire trip and fall on a mere strand of silk? Iriset is a prodigy and outlaw. The daughter of a powerful criminal, she dons her alter ego Silk to create magical disguises for those in her father's organization. But she longs to do more with her talent, to enhance what is meant to be human by giving people wings, night sight, and other abilities, to unlock the possibilities of gender and parenthood, to cure disease, and even to end mortality itself. The Princess Kills Monsters by Rai Herman. A princess with a mostly useless magical talent takes on horrible monsters, a dozen identical masked heroes, and a talking lion in a quest to save a kingdom and herself in this affectionate satire of the Grimm brothers fairy tale, The 12 Huntsmen. And the last one I have is Echo Fort by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. This is the second book in the Sins of the Zodiac series, so I didn't want to really do the book description or the synopsis in case you haven't read the first one. And I haven't read the first one, so I don't want to spoil it for myself. But this is what the authors say. This is an enemies to lovers romantasy series set in the same world as Zodiac Academy, but it's a dark and villainous tale of its own. You haven't met tainted souls like these before, or enemies that hate each other as deeply as these characters do. Book 2 in the series will leave you cursing the stars and perhaps the authors too. You'll be left hoarse from screaming profanities and desperate for more of the morally gray fae who lurk between the pages, despite all they've done to your poor heart. I hope these 2 authors never stop writing books. I have one in the historical category, The Stolen Life of Colette Marciu by Kristen Harmel. An electrifying new novel about two jewel thieves, a priceless bracelet that disappears in the 1940s Paris, and a quest for answers in a decades-old murder. I have one in sci-fi, I Think I'm in Love with an Alien by Anne Aguirre. This is a rom-com sci-fi. He's stranded, he's desperate, he's not looking for love. Alien Tamzir Jarin, aka Seeker, is paying the price for risking an illicit holiday on an interdicted planet. His ride-off world never showed, and he's been stranded on Earth for nearly a year. His gear is breaking down, food is becoming a problem, and if his camouflage unit fritzes, he'll wind up in a government lab. But he's met some cool humans online, and they've invited him to the biggest space-themed convention around. Why not make memories with them while he figures out how to get home? SpaceCon or bust. But she's nerdy, she's flirty, and she's ready for romance. This seems like a completely non-stressful, fun sci-fi read that's like a WTF. And in the last category, I have 4 books in fiction. The first one is Girls, Girls, Girls by Shoshana von Blackensee, a vibrant, queer, Jewish debut teeming with heart, angst, love, and self-discovery. This is about a young woman who, caught between the expectations of others and her own evolving desires, is forced to make a series of fraught, life-altering decisions. Hazel Says No by Jessica Berger Gross. When a tight-knit family moves from Brooklyn to Maine, their lives are upended by an event that will alter their new community forever. In this big-hearted, sparkling debut for fans of Now Is Not the Time to Panic, Pineapple Street, and Schitt's Creek. The Poppy Fields by Nikki Ehrlich. Welcome to the Poppy Fields, where there's hope for even the most battered hearts to heal. Here, in a remote stretch of the California desert, lies an experimental and controversial treatment center that allows those suffering from the heartache of loss to sleep through their pain and keep on sleeping. After patients awaken from this prolonged state of slumber, they will finally be healed, but only if they're willing to accept the potential shadowy side effects. And lastly, The Second Chance Convenience Store by Janet Hong, who's the translator, and Kim Yo Yoon. This is a book in translation that is about an owner of a corner store who takes in an unhoused man who does a good deed, a kind soul whose presence will transform the whole neighborhood, a heartwarming tale of community and redemption. I'm not going to lie, I have heard so much about that book. I cannot wait to read it. Now going on to book purchases. So like I said, last week I was in California and I had the amazing ability to visit the Ripped Bodice in Culver City, California, and I got a few goodies. Now, if you know me, I very rarely ever purchase books. I am more on the minimalist. I do not need a bunch of clutters. I'm trying to be sustainable. I love to use the library. But that does not stop me from giving money to an indie bookstore. And I found so many cute bookish little trinkets and goods. So in the description, I will link the video. I believe I'll have a link to the TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube short where you can see all of the stuff that I got at the Ripped Bodice. And lastly, for book news. So I was browsing YouTube and there is the cutest, coziest game called Tiny Bookstore. It comes out in August and oh my God, it's like you have your own bookstore. I will leave the link to like the YouTube trailer in my description. Go check it out. I cannot wait for August. Elsie Silver's Rose Hill series is getting made into a TV series. Is anyone interested to see Tabitha and Reese's episode? I can just like picture like a grown man being like a wrestler. I am 100% here for it, but I absolutely loved each one of these books and I cannot wait until it's a series. I feel like there are so many popular books right now that are being made into either movies or TV series, and I feel like we haven't seen any of them. It's been so long, and maybe it's just like 2025 where all these things are being mentioned, but I'm waiting to see all these remakes and all of these movies, but like, when are they coming? We have all this talk, but there is no dates. So I can't wait for this one too. Or I feel like they're all going to come out at the same time, like the same month, and everyone's going to be completely addicted to their screens, and then they're all just going to stop. FABLE, the app, which I absolutely love. I'm a FABLE Plus member. This is not sponsored or anything like that. They just partnered with Everand, who is part of, I believe, Scribed, and I used to get all of my audiobooks from them. As of right now, I don't think anything's changed with the FABLE app, like new content or new areas that you have. But I heard in the future they're going to be commingling their things together. I don't know if it's going to be into one app or if you're going to get the benefits of using both apps in each one that you currently pay for, because Everand is also a monthly subscription like FABLE. And speaking of books into series, S.A. Crosby's All the Sinners Bleed is going to be made in a 9-part TV series. I love that book. That was really the first book I read that was kind of considered in like the horror genre. I don't even know if it was horror, but it was the first like really graphic book that I read. And I was so amazed that I found those books interesting. And then it opened literally a whole new genre to me. Granted, horror isn't something that I gravitate towards, but if it has a very catchy book description, I am for sure going to read it. And I believe the series is going to be done with with the co-writer who did Black Panther. So I think this is going to be super interesting. And of course, I don't know when it's coming out, but it's going to come out sometime, hopefully soon. And that is all, my friends. Thank you, as always, for taking your time out to watch my video. And I hope within these 22 book recommendations, you were able to find and add some to your TBR. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.